Good morning, Barry. First day. What do you got to say?
Led to fish. We just read the Bible verses about led to fish for something more, baby. Today we're going to be fishers of fish.
Are we looking for a miracle today?
We're heading the Miracle Mile. Look at this view. Look at all this stuff.
Look at this. Let's see.
Quite a view. We haven't seen the river yet since we crossed it. We're hoping we're not the last ones on the river. They say that trout don't live in ugly places, and as you can see, some other beautiful animals hung out in the same spots. So, as we headed out to the river, we had some amazing views of animals, some amazing views of landscape and other fishermen, and we enjoyed every minute of it. We truly loved every day. Throughout the trip, we looked for spots that no one else had been around or didn't want to venture to. We decided that there'd be fish about on every stretch of the river, and sometimes we were right and sometimes we were wrong, but we always adventured in alone. I mean, look at this. Look at this valley. Let outdoors, man. Didn't take us long and we were into fish. In one of the most beautiful environments in the world, crystal clear waters of Wyoming, the North Platte River. Boy, did we love it. In Fremont Canyon, we caught the occasional fish like this one in the slack water, but most of the big fish that we caught this week were caught right on the heaviest flows near the fast water and just off the fast water.
Look at that. That's a beautiful shot. Look at the beautiful fish. That's a great fat brown. Love it.
Yeah, nice fish.
You should.
Hi, 16.
Could easy be.
The canyon boulders were treacherous to climb on, to fish on, and once we hooked up to a fish, it was a challenge to try to wrestle those things in. So the great thing is we got to be alone. We fished alone in one of the most beautiful places on the North Platte all week long. So you'll notice we're using a technique called nymphing, and it's really a common technique to use in the spring and the fall when fish aren't hitting the top like sometimes you're used to in fly fishing. Our bobber, little thingamabobbers, are positioned only about 5 to 6 feet above a 2-rig nymph rig. We found out really quickly that using 5X in this canyon was the key. Now 5X line is about the equivalent of 2-pound test. What do you got going, Sethers? Look at this view, guys. Here's the homestead. Few of the mornings and nights were even nice enough to grill out. The sunsets were beautiful. The sunrises came right over the North Platte. But true to the mountains, we had one day where we came into this beautiful Fremont Canyon and it looked like this. And just like the turn of a switch, the next day, it was a whole different story. A little different than when it was 70 degrees and looked like a desert out here. Life in the mountains.
Are you man enough for this, Barry?
I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Let's do it this morning. Look at this, dude.
Wow. High of 40 today, 1 to 3 inches of snow, and it's pounding us right now.
We're right at 32 right now.
We're just hoping for that 40 degrees.
For Seth and I, the great news is the big fish weren't afraid of the snowflakes or the cold. They sat in one hole and we sat there as well for most of the day and landed over 30 big fish. So we had the day of our lives, and these fish, well, they all got returned to the water to their home.
Immensely struggling with people. He really doesn't like them.
Nope.
In fact,
Not when we're fishing.
Not when we're
I'd
fishing.
rather pick a crappy fishing spot and be alone than catch a bunch of fish next to another dude.
But this trip may be different. He might develop friendships. A new concept.
No.
A new concept.
So this is private here, you think? All the big fish were hitting on the smallest nymphs. So size 20 was what was working. So Prince nymph, size 20, the size smaller than your pinky fingernail, was hitting them with a dropper, and red was the color of choice. Midges were hatching, blue-winged olive nymphs were coming up from the bottom, and these fish were feeding most of the day. They seemed to turn off right around 5 o'clock. Beginners to fly fishing often talk to me about how they can't cast quite far enough or using the perfect flies, but more important to them than that is the perfect dead drift. Without going the exact pace of the water below, you're never going to get the fish to bite, especially one that's seen a lot of flies and the bigger ones like we caught on this trip. Nice, Seth. Want me to help you?